Hello, welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I'm Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses in New York, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. Today, I'm just talking about we're observing July 4th today, even though today is July 5th, and I just want to talk about what Independence Day means to me and how it affects how I feel about the investment business, real estate investment business. So, I am incredibly humbled to live in what I believe is not just the greatest country in the world, but also the greatest country that ever existed in history. And while this country is not perfect, I think that history will show that we are the place where the most opportunity exists in the world. And if you have any doubt about that, ask yourself why a million people come here legally and millions of people risk their lives to get here every single year. From a real estate investment point, as being a real estate investor, I can't imagine how great we are compared to other places. When I talk to people in other countries about how business works there, it is stifling with regulation, and opportunities do not exist like they do here. I'm part of a mastermind called Investor Fuel, which consists of 150 people, all different backgrounds, all different races, all different religions, and people talk about countries they came from and how they would never go back to another country after this one. So it's an amazing thing that we live here. When I think of my father, who was born in Germany and came when he was 8 years old in 1938 after Kristallnacht, where they burned down his synagogue and beat up a lot of people in the streets, and was able to come to the United States. My mother, who was actually born here, but her mother, who had left only a few years earlier from something on the Austrian-Hungarian border. She was one of 8 siblings. 6 of those siblings died in the Holocaust. One survived the camps, but was unable to have children after her children were killed in the camps. And when I think of what this country has done for me, for my family, I am incredibly humbled and grateful. As a real estate investor, we take for granted so much that the idea that you can start wholesaling properties anywhere in this country and you don't have to think about who you are or where you're from. There are countries today that still have slavery and caste systems where you can't start a business unless you grew up a certain way. And that is just not the case here. I can tell you that in that mastermind that I'm a part of, 99.9% of the people grew up with no advantage whatsoever. Families didn't have money. People grew up without any education, without any money, and these people all created incredibly successful businesses that are thriving today. And these things just, again, we take them for granted, but they don't happen in a lot of other places in the world. That anyone can start a business here and be successful and can, I'm not just saying work hard, but work for themselves, right? There are a lot of places where you can get a job and work for somebody else and be successful, but to start your own business is so regulatorily stifling. I mean, I spoke to people in France where they say to start a business is impossible. Just an example, in France, you can't hire a seasonal worker. Anybody you hire, the penalties to get rid of them are so crazy that you could not hire somebody just to come help you. You needed some time. These are things we don't even think about in New York, in the United States, where we hire people and we tell them you're going to be here seasonally. I just need somebody for this amount of time. These things don't happen in a lot of other countries. Even incredibly progressive is a tough word to use today, but incredibly advanced countries like in Western Europe. So we have an unbelievable amount of opportunity here. We have an unbelievable amount of independence here and an amount of freedom. And it's an honor to live here. Everybody here takes it for granted, I'm pretty sure, unless you've come from another country where maybe you can appreciate it more. I was born here. My father was not. He thanked God every day that he lived here. He served in the Korean War and met my mother right after the Korean War. And my mother understood, because my mother actually went back with her mother when she was young to try to convince all of my grandmother's siblings to leave Europe, because she saw what was coming and none of them did. And like I said, she had 7 siblings. She was one of 8. 6 of them died, and one of them made it through the camps, through Auschwitz. But her children were killed in Auschwitz, and she was unable to have children after. So in effect, her bloodline was ended, and only my grandmother, one of 8, had any real descendants that came from her. And she also thank God every day for living in America. And when I think of my wife's grandparents, who both survived the camps and who came out and built an incredible family and were so successful, people who came from situations where they felt like they had nothing to lose because they had seen the worst of humanity. And I think this country has been a beacon and has been a haven for people who want to come here and be successful since its inception. Like I said, the country's not perfect. No country is, but this is clearly the greatest country in the world. People want to show statistics of why in education and happiness. People aren't clamoring to get into a lot of places like they are in the United States. And we need to understand that people risk their lives to come here every day because they know the opportunities, independence, and freedom that this country provides. So I think it's amazing to be a real estate investor here. I would never want to live anywhere else, or be a citizen of anywhere else. And I think that we take a lot for granted living in this country, and we are incredibly blessed to be citizens of this country. Also, just the fact that when you're born here, you automatically become a citizen is not something that happens in most countries. It really doesn't. So I'm very thankful to be a citizen of the United States of America. I'm very thankful for the founders for creating this country. One of the things I see sometimes when I go to Rhode Island in the Touro Synagogue is a letter from George Washington that he wrote to the first Jewish community in America, where he was welcoming them and thanking them and saying how this country was really built on religious freedom. It makes me cry every time I see it. It's unbelievable to me. And I am thankful to the founders for creating what they created, even though this will never be a perfect country. It wasn't perfect when they built it, and it will never be perfect. It's pretty close to as good as it can get here. So I want to thank you all for watching. Anyone who watches this, I really appreciate. If you're interested in how I can help you start in the business or grow the business, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in my course that teaches how to get started in the business, my course is howtoflipnewyorkcourse.com. If you're interested in coaching, one-on-one coaching with me, then there is coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any channel, please click like. The thumbs up really help my SEO, my search engine optimization. A lot more people have been seeing. That beeping is driving me freaking nuts. I gotta put a battery into that smoke detector in the hallway of my office. So thank you very, very much. Oh, keep the comments coming. Comments really help me. I go live 5 times a week. I'm even going live today when I'm sort of not working because I want to get as much information out to you, but sometimes I can't think of what I want to say. So please keep the comments coming. If it's a simple comment, I'll just respond to the comment. I'll reply to it. If it's a topic that maybe I've covered in depth or multiple times, I'll send you links to videos. Beeping is driving me nuts. Multiple videos on it. I do that all the time. And if it's something that I haven't covered in a while, or it's something that I haven't covered at all, I'll do a video on it. So keep the comments coming. They help me. I promise you. There are no bad comments, no stupid comments. I respond to everything. So I really appreciate you watching. Thank you very, very much.